course, if any of you would like the recording to do this again at your leisure, just ping me a message after the session. Because of course, I know that's what you're thinking all week. I just wish I could do more yoga.
No, that's a good idea.
Right, aren't I? We are starting lying down with the feet at the edges of the mat. So, knees bent, feet flat. Just giving yourself those first few moments to let your body just settle into your floor, your mat. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your mat. So we're drawing the mind now away from the day, away from anything that might have happened at work. Focusing in on yourself. Bring the attention into the breath. Initially, you might find that you've relaxed a part of the body, like your shoulders, and then mentally moved on to check in with somewhere else. And then when you come back to your shoulders, you might notice that they're tense once again. That's absolutely fine and completely normal. Muscle tension is habitual. So it takes work and concentration to create relief. With that in mind, it's also quite normal to feel a slight discomfort in your lower back. As you relax those tense muscles, they sort of drop into the connective tissue that crosses all over the body. And that can create a little reaction from the nervous system. But using the breath, you can breathe that sensation out of your body. Equally, if it's a stubborn response, the posture's put in order. Still thinking about the lower back, we're going to start to introduce some very basic pelvic tilts. As you exhale, you're going to press your lower back into the floor. And then as you inhale, release back into a neutral position in your pelvis. So you're balanced on the bone of the back of the pelvis. So exhaling, you tilt. And then inhaling to release, nice and slowly. Just checking in with the shoulders, back of the neck, the face muscles, particularly around the jawline. Tilting and releasing. But still working on staying soft in all of those key areas where we hold tension. We're going to start rolling up into a shoulder bridge on an exhale. So we're going to keep the pelvic tilt. As you exhale, flatten your back to the floor and then start using your glutes to send your hips towards the ceiling. As you lift the hips up, make sure that your chin stays down so that the neck stays long. Inhale in your lifted position. And then exhale to soften and roll, bone by bone, back to the mat, going back through that lower back connection and then rolling onto the back of the pelvis. So these are really slow and quite protracted. Working with the breath, it's 6 repetitions in total. Once you've done your 6, you're going to stretch your legs out along the mat and stretch your arms over your head for a full body stretch. So you're just reaching the arms, stretching the legs away. Take a breath in, and then when you exhale, bring the arms down by your sides and just soften. And then on your next exhale, we're going to scoop the knees up into the chest. Press your lower back into the floor. So now we can just have a little rock around on the lower back to massage it through. And then you're going to place a hand on the top of each knee. So we're going to keep the feet together as you send the legs away from you, keeping them together. Then the legs go out to the side, but the feet are connected. We're drawing circles with your thigh bones. 6 circles in each direction. For the sake of, keep your hands on your knees. So you're actually doing it with your hands, that's it. For the sake of keeping things quite simple, just breathe in and out at comfortable intervals. And then once you've done 6 on each side, we're going to take hold of the left knee. So you just get on the top of the left knee. Okay. And then on an exhale, you're going to slide your right leg along the floor and curl up like you're trying to get your forehead to press into your left knee. We're holding this for 4 breaths. Really stretch your right leg away from you so you feel like you're getting a big stretch. Four breaths, then place your head down. Swap legs. Inhale, exhale to curl up and slide your other leg away. Elbows out to the side, try to squeeze your head into that right knee. 4 breaths. And then after your last one, bringing both knees in and taking the arms out to the side. When you're ready to take your next exhale, drop the knees to the side in a belly twist and soften through your shoulders. 4 breaths on side 1 and then 4 breaths on side 2. After side 2, when you come back to the centre, cross your ankles over and take the hold of the top of each foot. And roll yourself up to sitting on an inhale. Organise yourself comfortably. And then we're going palms down on the insides of the knees, lengthen through the spine, relax the shoulders. Here we're going to make the shift over to Ujjayi breathing. Concentrate on relaxing in your hips and around your inner thighs. On your next inhale, we're going to sweep the arms forwards and up, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, palms down. Drop the weight of your head towards the floor and settle in for 4 breaths. When you finish your 4th exhale, roll back up in the inhale. Change your legs over on the exhale. Take the arms forwards and up, inhale, reach, and exhale, forward fold. When you're coming out of it on the inhale, we're coming up and then taking the hands behind you, palms flat, fingertips pointing away from you, and now lift your chest towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades together so you come into a really nice stretch across the front of the chest. Lift your chin very slightly, stay relaxed in your thighs, 4 breaths. It's almost like a seated fish pose. From here, we're coming up on an inhale and then rolling over your feet on an exhale to come to all 4s. And instead of going into cat-cow, which I know you're all expecting, we're actually going into threading. So, plant your hands, thumbs stretching towards each other, and then it's inhale to send your arm to the side. It should be slightly in front of you. Exhale as you thread underneath and give yourself a hug. Big twist. We're doing 4, and then on the last one, the arm will go out along the floor, head down, pop your arm behind your back for 4 breaths. So with the hand behind your back in that holding posture, keep trying to work that shoulder back. So the shoulder blade tucks in towards the spine, and you're creating space across the collarbone. It's 4 breaths, and then you're coming back up to all 4s to do the same on the other side. Remember, when you take the arm to the side, it needs to be going slightly in front of you, slightly in front of the shoulder rather than in line with the shoulder. You'll get a better twist that way. Exactly what Simon just did. Sorry, it was really nice. Yeah. I said a good thing. I know you looked surprised, but...
Doesn't happen very often.
That criticism. Noted. Once you have done side 2, we are all coming back and meeting in Varmanasana. Take a pose. So, fingers spread, thumbs stretched towards each other, back of the neck nice and long. Ujjayi breathing. And then on an inhale, send your chest forward, tuck your toes under, exhale to downward dog. You have some time there to pedal through your feet. Two more breaths here, and then drop to your knees, come into pose of a child. So knees away from each other, toes together. We're going to leave the arms extended unless you need to rest your head on your hands. If your head reaches the floor, it should be on the floor. If not, you can put one hand on top of the other. Just soften down for a moment here. And then on an inhale, we're going to reach the arms forward, long fingers, and come forwards to King Cobra. So the feet are coming up behind you, hips drop forward, lift the chest, and you're taking your head back like you're trying to touch it with your feet. That's on an inhale. Exhale. Just sit your hips back, but leave your hands where they were. Okay. Inhale. Drop the hips, head comes towards the feet. Sit back on the exhale. Good. You all right, Sophie?
Letting my knees too much.
Then
Rolls
you
pretty hard.
further away from each other so that you're rolling on the inside edges rather than over your kneecap.
That hurts more.
But it might do, but it's less damaging.
Not damage at all.
It's all right, Sophie. I'm going to add a bit on, so you can probably just do the add-on, okay? So this is the bit we're adding on. As I exhale and sit back, you're going to inhale, come to a plank. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale to a plank, exhale to downward dog. If you've made it to downward dog, just stay with your breath and we'll wait till everybody gets to the same place. Where are you, Sam? There. Okay, cool.
There.
Okay, cool. Right. From here, we're going through to a plank on an inhale. As you exhale, send your knees wide and sit back. Inhale, you do that delightful bit, which you don't have to do, Sophie. Inhaling, King Cobra. That's it. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, plank. Exhale to downward dog. And then without a tea break, we carry on. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees wide, sit back. Inhale to King Cobra. Exhale, sit back. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward dog. And we will just do this one more time. So it's inhale to plank. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, King Cobra. Exhale, sit back. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward dog where we're now staying. So stretch your arms, send your chest towards your knees, your heels into the floor. If you still like to pedal your feet, you can. But on your next inhale, we're now going to take the right foot through to the top of the mat and drop the left knee down. I've just noticed, Sophie, that you're on a wooden floor, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you got a pillow, like a thin cushion or something to hand? Yeah, stick your knee on that.
Okay.
If you have a look here, I've put a rug underneath my mat.
Yeah, I'm not at home. I'm better equipped at home.
Yeah. So we are into the left hip, shoulders back. So has everyone got a stretch in their left hip?
Yeah.
Good. So, because where I'm taking this in a minute, I need a name for. So when we do it, if you've got like any ideas, as long as it ends in asana, then I reckon it's credible.
Yeah.
So initially, on an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms forwards and come up, and we're just coming up to vertical. So what you're trying to do here is still stay dropped through the left hip. So the left hip is being sent towards the mat, chest up, long spine and arms reaching towards the ceiling, shoulders down. And what you need to be focusing on right now is, yes, the stretch in your left hip, but also your balance. Because on your next inhale, you're going to take your left arm, it circles back onto your heel, or the back of your leg, and then the right arm comes up and over like we're doing Sun Warrior.
Ooh.
4 breaths. Needs a name.
That's my asanasana.
All right. On your next inhale, we're going to come up, take the hands either side, so whirl them around beautifully. Now, as you exhale, we're going to come up into bowing warrior or humble warrior or pyramid, however you know it. Either way, both of the legs are straight. And the aim is to try and get your hands on either side of your right foot as you tuck your head in towards your knee. Now, I appreciate that for some of you, the back of your right leg will be screaming. So what you can do is just slightly bend the knee and straighten it, bend it and straighten it. So you've got freedom here to do what your body needs to do. Similarly, if you are in this quite easily and you'd like a bit more, lift your toes up.
On both feet.
No, just the front one. I'm not sure you can get the toes up on the back foot, can you?
Okay.
Now, from here, we're going to do something that's objectively quite cool. Okay? Because we're going to sweep your right leg from where it is now all the way up into a 3-legged dog. And it will look like this. So on an inhale, going up to here.
I don't like that when I do it.
So inhale to 3-legged dog. When you take an exhale, we're going to come into a hip opener. So flex your right foot and now open through your hip. Holding here for 3 breath rounds. Turn your pelvis to the side, power your arms. Keep stretching your chest towards your knee. And then on an inhale, we're going to bring the right foot through again. So inhale, bring your right foot through to the top of the mat. And now turn your back foot so that on an inhale, we're whirling into warrior two. Pow. Do you feel cool?
I feel hot.
So in your warrior two, making sure that your knee at the front is directly over your ankle. You've got a nice broad foot, the toes are relaxed, back leg is powered, and you have a connection down to the outside edge of your back foot. Tuck your bottom underneath you. In other words, don't stick your bum out. Yeah? Pull your abdominals in. Then on an inhale, we're going to come back to the high lunge. Exhale back to downward dog for 2 breaths. And then settle down into pose of a child for a relax. And if you need to get a drink, do so. So if you've got a drink, go back to pose of a child, let it all settle. I'm just thinking that maybe yoga cats should be mandatory. I don't think I ever teach a yoga class without a cat ever again.
You start charging me for her, won't you?
Yes. If you have all suitably recovered from side one, we're going to come back to all fours and set ourselves up for side two. You all good? Did anyone remember what we did?
No.
I'll figure it out. It's fine. So on an inhale, send your chest forward, tuck your toes under. Exhale to downward dog. 2 breaths in downward dog. And then inhaling, the left foot coming through to the top of the mat. Drop your back knee onto a cushion if you're sofa. And now we are into the right hip. Shoulder back. Drop the knee down, Adam. That's it. So working into that right hip. Make sure that your knee is directly over your ankle on the left side. Long spine. On an inhale, we're coming through and up to Anjaneyasana. And then on an inhale, we're coming into it hurts my arse asana.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't reach it.
In the absence of a better suggestion. Inhaling, we're going to come back to the lunge and then exhale, pick up your back knee coming straight into Bounding Warrior. Where you got to do what you got to do. Bend and straighten, lift and lower, wriggle about, whatever you need to do. Let's get into the back of that left leg. And now it's the sweep to three-legged dog on an inhale. So you need to take your weight off of the left leg so it can move. Inhale. And then exhale, come into your hip opener with a flexed foot. 3 breaths. When you're ready to take your next inhale, the left foot comes through to the top of the mat. Exhale, turn your back foot. And then on an inhale, whirl yourself into warrior 2. Slick. Tucking in with your feet, make sure your toes are nice and relaxed. Working that front knee out to the side. Inhaling, we're going to come back to the high lunge. And then exhale, step back to downward dog for 2 breaths. And this time on an inhale, we're going to start walking the hands in. And as you exhale, settle into your standing forward bend, Uttanasana. So you've got lots of space through the backs of your legs now. So allowing yourself to really drop towards the floor. Lifting the sitting bones towards the ceiling. Lengthen the back. Drop your arms and soften your knees. Then on an inhale, sweep the arms forwards to come up. Lift the chest towards the ceiling, little back bend, and then exhale. Bring your hands, to your breastbone and pause. Relax your arms down. And stay exactly where you are. So, we've got choices. You can either come into a tree balance, where you just put your foot onto the inside of your leg, somewhere that's comfortable. Or, we're going to take a hold of the foot and turn it so that you're in a half lotus position. So the top of your foot's on top of your thigh and your knees pointing to the ceiling. This is always complicated if you've got slidey leggings on and moisturiser on your feet. Right, Simon?
Happens all the time.
Right, I thought it might. Yeah, so if you are going to come into this position, it's absolutely fine to hold your foot. Yeah, so you get the hip opening and you've got the balancing. If your foot won't stay stuck there, mine rarely does, just grab onto it and hold it. Your spare hand you can take out to the side of the Chin Mudra. 4 breaths balancing on side 1. So power your standing leg to lift yourself up and out of the mat. 4 breaths on side 1, 4 breaths on side 2. Tree or otherwise is fine. So, that was just to get us balancing. What I really want to do is hand to big toe pose. Okay, but it's usually better if we've got belts and things, but in the absence of, I didn't know, who had belts, who didn't. So, got options, okay? Hand to big toe pose is exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, hand to big toe and balance, okay? Now, it's a big, big hamstring stretch. That's why we've been doing all of those stretchy bits that we were just doing. You have options, okay? So you can take a hold around the back of your hamstring and kick your leg out. The aim being to not lean backwards as you do it, okay? So that's one option. If you want to go in a little bit deeper, you can take hold of your big toe. And if it doesn't straighten, maybe go back to here, yeah? So we want the chest lifted and the spine long and the leg out in front of you. Here's another option. Find something you can put your leg on, yeah? And do it from here. You can take a little lean forward then, so it becomes more of a kind of passive hamstring stretch. Exactly, Sophie. Yes?
Perfect.
And now you can go forwards and reach for your big toe. 4 breaths. 4 breaths on each toe. Leg in front of you, Nikki. Yeah. It's leg in front of you. But it's more than just like forcing yourself into it because you wanna. Yeah? Nice long spine, powerful balancing leg, shoulders down. So, if it's causing you to crumple, you have options. Yeah. Like it. Cool. I've been meaning to do that for weeks. Doing it tonight, that's it. So practice that every morning before breakfast because there'll be a test on it next week. No, I'm joking. So, after your balancing, let's come to the top of the mat, have your feet together. And we're coming to Kali Mudra. So we're going to have the 2 fingers pressed together, shoulders down. On an inhale, send your arms up. And as you're exhaling, we're going into a side bend where we're staying. 4 breaths, side bending on one side. When you're ready, come up on an inhale and exhale. 4 breaths, side bending on the other side. When you're ready to come out of side 2, bring your hands back to your chest. Has everybody got their hands on the chest? Because I can't see anyone anymore.
Yeah.
Right, cool. On an inhale, take your arms down and around and up, lift your chest. Exhale, we're going to solo dive into the knees. Exhaling, lead with the chest. Tuck your head in. Half spine on your inhale. Exhale, tuck your head back in. And then either jump or step back to downward dog. On your next inhale, we're going to take the feet towards the edges of the mat. But from here, we're going into a twist. So your left hand is going to reach to the outside of your right ankle. Turn your head so you're looking underneath your right armpit. 4 breaths on side 1. And then 4 breaths on side 2. It's a big twist. Can you get round there a little bit more? You can use the connection between the hand and the ankle to push yourself into the twist a touch more. 4 breaths on each side and then fold yourself down into pose of child. Hold your pose of a child for a couple more breaths. Roll yourself up to sitting when you're ready and then come up to kneeling, middle of your mat, facing the side of it. So, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do before we go there, because then you've got choices. We will be heading off into gate pose, because it's lovely. Yes? We will be coming up to a balance, because everyone can do that. Then you've got choices, okay? So the top end of that is your hand to big toe once again, okay? Which would be for 4 breaths. If you don't fancy that much, you can go backwards. So you can come into a sort of side balancing bow pose, yeah? Or you can just change sides and ignore that together. Yes. I'm being serious. You can work with what your body wants to do on the day that you're doing it. Okay. So we're going to start by going into gate pose. So the arms are going out to the side. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, kicking your leg out so the heel digs into the floor and the arm is coming over your head. And you have the freedom to move around here. So you're looking for those tight corners, getting into them and using the breath to work them through. And then on an inhale, we come to the balance. So power that lifted leg, kick your heel away. It's a strong leg and a strong arm. Four breaths, and then honestly, you can just change sides if you want. Or you've got the option to come into one of those additional stretches. Come out and stretch. We can do a whizzy changeover. Inhale across the center. Exhale into your gate pose. Seamless. And then we're coming up to the balance on an inhale. Power that leg. You all right, Simon?
Tried to do the difficult part and I'm just nowhere near.
Okay. Cool. I mean, kudos for trying, though.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So we all came out of that beautifully at the same time, and it was like a dance. And if anyone says anything else happens, I should deny it. Bring the soles of your feet together, holding around the little toe side of your feet into Baddha Konasana. Shoulders down, sending the knees outwards towards the mat, lengthening your neck. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the legs into a wide stretch. So whatever that might mean for you. And then we're coming forwards and trying to get onto your elbows. Now I know that some of you can go further than that, and some of you not so much. So wherever you can get to is fine, but you can sort of work yourself into it and then come out a little bit. And then you can work yourself back into it and you can come out a little bit. So there is no trapping here. If you are all the way down, you can bring your attention to trying to turn your legs outwards as you stretch through the middle. And you'll know what I mean if you're down there. When you're ready to come back up, you're coming back up and then inhale. Carefully bring your legs back together because they might object to go from being that stretched to suddenly being brought back together. We are bringing them fully together and then the hands are going back around behind you like they did earlier. Okay. Keep the legs together, keep the bunions together. And we're going back into that sense of lifting the chest and slightly lifting the chin to another seated fish pose. If you like, you can send the hips up as well. Your hips are up. Bring them down, and then everybody, inhale, send your arms towards the ceiling. Exhale to forward fold, flex your feet, and tuck your head in towards your knees. When you roll yourself up to sitting, if you need to grab anything for Shavasana, you can grab it now, and then make your way back down to the mat into your corpse pose. Which is ironically the most unrelaxing name of a posture for something that is supposed to be terribly relaxing. I don't know. So, good. Take yourself down to the mat. So the legs are out straight this time rather than where they were at the start, which was bent obviously. But it's the same approach. So you just start to notice your body settling into the mat. Breathing comes back to the easy breath. And you're checking in with all of those key tension areas. What you might notice this time is that if you focus for a moment on relaxing your shoulders and then allow your attention to go elsewhere, you come back to the shoulders, you might find that they've stayed in that. So allow the the shoulders to widen and soften. Allow the ribcage to soften. You might notice that ache again in the lower back. With the breath, again, breathe that out. Allow the lower back to relax. Soften the muscles around the hips. The front of the thighs. All the way down to the tips of the toes. Tips of your fingers. Every muscle, every bone, ligament, tendon, all of the connective tissue, softening down, settling into the mat, completely relaxing. And now come into your three arm breaths. Powerful inhale through the nose to the belly. Sigh of the air out of your mouth. Relax the jawline as you exhale. In with your last exhale, Bring your attention back to your fingers and toes and start to wake up fully. When you feel ready to, bring your knees into your chest. Rock on your lower back. And then when you're ready, come up to sitting and click the magic button that allows us to finish the session together. Session. Nailed it, Nikki. All right, and then you can take your bow. Namaste.
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 Oh, the cat.
Cat, yeah. Great cat. Love it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.